Hello everyone, and welcome to the Women Panel at Cybertech 2022. Women are 50% of the population and over 50% of academics in the job market. However, we are still considered a significant underrepresented talent population in the high-tech industry. Today, we have chosen to bring you inspiring stories from great women leaders in the high-tech industry. Each of them broke glass ceilings and will share with you their unique journey and insights they have gained along the way. But let's start with introductions. My name is Nili Serr Reuven. I am Senior Vice President of Corporate Finance at CyberArk. In my career, I am a financial leader of headquarters in global software companies. I've relocated twice and gained a broad international experience. And my passion is diversity and inclusion. As such, I volunteer as a mentor in several organizations, such as Women to Women, which was established by 8,200 alumni to help young women starters.
Hi, my name is Gabi Marom. I was a talent recruitment officer in the unit 8200 and established and founded the first cyber school at the unit. After I retirement from the army, I started volunteering AliceCode, and now I am the CEO partner in AliceCode Leadership and Technology for Young Women and Girls. And I'm very happy to be here, and I can tell you that even my two daughters are in this there.
Good afternoon. First of all, I'm glad to be a part of this amazing forum with those amazing women, inspiring women who promote equality in the Israeli society and especially in the high-tech sector. My name is Sharon. I'm an IDF Brigadier General on reserve with 30 years management experience in the military ICT and in cyber division and in the IDF general staff. I was the former commander of National School of Communications and Cyber Defense, and then I was the gender advisor to the Chief of Staff. Today I'm a lecturer in Reichman University in the School of Government and Diplomacy. And I'm also a chairman of the board of directions of Deborah Forum.
Hi, I'm Gal. I'm a co-founder and CTO of PlainID, a cybersecurity company. I've been in the cybersecurity space for more than 20 years, starting from the Army. Very happy to be here today. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon to everybody, and thank you, Nili. My name is Merav, Kenan, and I'm the CEO of the iTech Association. After a long career in the telecommunication industry, I entered the iTech ecosystem. In the association, we represent more than 300 companies in cyber solutions, medical equipment, semiconductors, robotics, electronics, and more. And our main aim is to facilitate a regulatory and business environment for the IT companies, so the management, the production, and the R&D will stay in Israel and prosper. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Guy. I'm a software engineer at JFrog. Recently graduated from the Technion in the computer science department, and just starting my journey in the high-tech industry.
Thank you all for introducing yourselves. Unfortunately, Eynat Guez, the founder and CEO of Papaya Global, the first unicorn and the first woman who leads a unicorn, is sick today and could not join this panel. Diversity and inclusion are so critical to successful execution of companies' strategy by bringing different perspectives to the decision-making table, driving innovation, and creating a strong community that helps ensure that all employees' voices are heard and there is a fair and equal opportunities. Our discussion today in this panel is going to focus on diversity from the woman's perspective and how we can bring more women to the high-tech sector. I personally am very happy and proud to share with you that at CyberArk, diversity and inclusion is so important and critical that it is overseen directly by our board of directors. And at CyberArk, we have announced several plans to promote women and advance them. We created an ERG, Employee Resource Group, for cyber women to help them coach, mentor, and professional development to make sure every woman at CyberArk voice is heard. My first question goes to Gabi. Gabi, you're the partner CEO of AliceCode. Please share with us your unique journey and how you promote girls and women along the way in technology.
Thank you, Nili. When I was at the Army as a talent recruitment officer, I met young girls who were excellent. They had great accent. They got A's at their studies. They know exactly what they meant to be learned at school. But they was afraid of doing mistakes. They were afraid of learn something new, and they was afraid of being asked about something they didn't know. So they were educated to play by rules. So they even afraid of everything new. And they were the minority in their classes because they were with a lot of boys who were encouraged by the teachers. So in AliceCode, we are doing things differently. We're exposing girls from the age of 9, where their self-esteem is still okay. It's not going down while the self-criticism is going up at the age of 12. And they are starting to coding. And they start to create their own projects, and they bring their self-ability up, and they have fun. When you're fun with something, it's very good. You love to do it. So they said, we love to do our projects. In order to empower the young girls and reach their full potential, they study in small groups, and their trainer are high school students. So they have in front of them a young model, and it's very important to be modeling. We encourage the little girls to compete in international competition and present their own projects. The girls ask questions, take risks, and make mistakes, and they are not afraid of it. In addition, our students go to visit a high-tech programs, a high-tech companies, sorry. And then they see the great women who made changes, and they started to want to be like them. And it's very important to us. I want to add that modeling of great women who succeed and broke boundaries helps to increase the belief that the girls can achieve everything, and they follow their dreams. Curiosity is another thing that is very important. And our students' minds are starting to go in a new path, and they are succeed in their life. In addition to programming, they acquire life skills such as planning and time management, teamwork, providing feedback from one another to their peers. All of these enable them to be more confident and present their work in full confidence. After 6 years of the program, our students gained certificate from Harvard University in the course CS50s and joined to Startup Accelerator at junior level. So after that, they are going to the Army, and they will be chosen to the elite units. So thank you very much.
Great. Thank you so much, Gabi. It is so important to encourage girls at a young age to pursue technology. And as you said, later on that leads them to technology profession in the Army, which leads me to Sharon. Sharon, we all know that in the Israeli Defense Force, the IDF, the technology professionals, this is a great springboard later on to the high-tech industry and job market in Israel. However, in the IDF, the technology profession is still significantly dominant by male majority. You served many years in the Army, in the IDF, and you were the Chief of Staff Advisor on Gender Affairs. Please share with us what you have done during this service to promote more women in the Army and later on in the industry.
Okay, it's really a challenge, and I believe that the challenge based on understanding, first of all, the root of the problem that causes a shortage of technological resources, especially among women and minorities. From my point of view, the problem is coming from two sources. First, cultural, social aspects or barriers that Gabi spoke about them, that women enable to study professions that are perceived as female professions, as opposite of the cyber professions in which the majority are male. Second, the rapid pace of change and the digital transformations that accelerates the needs to expand human potential to technological roles to address emerging needs. In doing so, I would like to present several groundbreaking directions of actions in the IDF, whose purpose is to expand the human potential and to empower women to technological positions. The first program that I want to speak about is the technological preparations for the periphery. In the IDF, there are special training programs for girls from the periphery, grade 11-12, whose purpose is to impact and impart basic relevant knowledge in programming and cyber. We're preparing the young girls optimally for the IDF screening tests for technological positions and technological units, such as we hear before, like 8200 and IT units, and then to JFrog and Intel and CyberArk and etc. This program inevitably expand the potential and significantly increase the scope of women in technological courses. And what we want is to see more women in the courses and then to involve them in in all the IDF, in all the part of the IDF. The second program that I want to speak about is the encouragement program for young students, high school, that the IDF deal with. To choose technological studies. For example, by myself, I led a program that encouraged teenager girls to choose technological studies courses as a major in school. The program encouraged teenager girls to dare, to try, and especially not to shy away from scientific studies courses on the understanding that women shy away from these professions and thus avoid themselves a promising future of technological positions in the military and then, as we speak before, in the labor market. The program dealt among other things, with creating an awareness of the importance of choosing the technological courses not only among the students, also among the parents, the teachers, and thus effectively expanding the circles of influence in favor of expanding the potential for technological positions. The third program that I want to speak about is for leaders, women leaders, officers. It's very important, because it's another level, but it's course of technologic women leaders for female officers, and it's called G-Shark. It's in the IDF. It's a program that deals with leadership development, career development, and especially with encouraging of women at the junior and middle level to advance to senior positions after. The program provides professional and managerial tools, creates a safe space for learning and deliberations, and strengthens the network between the women officers, the technological women officers in the IDF. Bottom line, all of these efforts that I mentioned emphasize that the revolution is already happening. And with more and more programs and platforms, I think that the number of women in the high tech is going to increase.
Thank you so much, Sharon. Indeed, inspiring programs to encourage more women to pursue technology careers in the IDF, and later on will increase them in the proportion of women in the high-tech industry. And what happens after they finish the IDF service? They move on in their career, in their life journey to the academia world and to the job market. There, in that age, they also sometimes start a family and become parents. So I want to talk to Gal, who is the co-founder and
in different startups, 2 different startups for some time in a technology role. But then I decided to invest more in my family. So I quit the startup community, moved to a more moderated type of job, only in Israel without traveling. And then I chose, after my children grew, I chose to come back. I chose to come back as a co-founder in a technology role. And that's really the point here. The point here is that you can choose. You can choose to be in a position at the beginning of your career, and you can choose to make different efforts. You can choose to invest more in your career at some stage, and then in your family, if that's what you prefer to do. I chose 6 years ago to co-found PlainID, which is a cybersecurity company. PlainID today is one of the largest companies in the area which we operate in. It also has raised a significant amount of money, nearly $1 million up until now. We employ 35% women in all levels, including high-level management. And we obviously we cherish all employees just the same. And that's it. That's very shortly my story here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gal. Being a mother myself, I can tell you that I fully agree with what you just said. Choose your own path. Every person, every woman, every man, every parent should find their own balance, their own place between career and parenthood, between work and life. Everyone has their own balance. There is no one size fits all. Thank you so much, Gal. And now I want to talk to you, Merav. Merav, you're the Chief Executive Officer of the Israeli High-Tech Association. But you had a very unusual journey. You started your career as a personal assistant, and you became a CEO. Please share with us how your career journey progressed and what you're doing in your current role to promote women in the high-tech industry.
Thank you very much, Nili. Yes, well, it started with my grandmother. She was a very influential figure in my life. She was in the Holocaust, she survived Auschwitz, and through my upbringing, she always told me that I could do everything, that I could shape my reality, that everything I would choose to, I could do it. So she was the first person who believed in me and made me the person who I am today. I'm not from a technical background. My career started after I finished BA in business, in English and linguistics. And I started as a personal assistant in a telecommunication company. I knew I wanted to progress and proceed, and after a year, I went to the CEO and told him I wanted to be in a new position, a Marom position, and he gave me the opportunity to do that, and from then on, I always watched myself and wanted to know how I could progress and where can I take myself to different locations. And 4 years ago, I was at the crossroad. I had a lot of experience in the telecommunication industry, and I needed to choose if I wanted to stay in this industry or go to the high-tech ecosystem, and I chose to enter a new field, to the high-tech industry, and it's very rewarding because I'm now the CEO of the high-tech association. As I said, I'm not from a technical background, and I work with technological people, and we promote a lot of issues that concern the industry. But I always think about my progress, and I always think, what can I do to make myself better? I always study, and I always say that we have a personal glass ceiling. If we believe that it doesn't exist, it really doesn't. I always worked, by the way, in male-dominating companies. I always find myself that I'm the only one in the room, the only woman in the room. And I think that my passion for progressing, combining family life, as Gal said, with the business life, and just thinking all the ways that I could progress are the advantages of me being a woman in a male-dominated industry. As for my contribution to the women, progressing women in the industry, I can say on a personal note that when I came to the high-tech association, I understood that on the board of the directors of the association, there weren't any women. So the first thing I decided was to recruit women in the management, and today we have 5 leading women, which incorporate in their companies gender equality. And I think that it starts with the management. When you decide, when you put it as the director mission that to have gender equality, you see more women in companies, and especially in high-tech and cyber, where they are still lacking.
Thank you so much, Merav. It's inspiring to hear how proactively you paved your own path. Last but not least, Guy, you're a software engineer at JFrog. And I'm curious to hear from your perspective as the representative of the younger generation. Why did you choose to learn computer science and work in the high-tech industry? And how can we encourage more women to do the same?
So actually, when I was a kid, I really didn't like computers. I was a little bit technophobic even, but I was a total math and physics geek. So I knew I have the skills. I knew that computer science is the future, and I wanted to be a part of it. So I signed to a computer class in my high school, and I discovered that I liked programming. And I think since then I already knew that I'm going to study it in the university, and that I'm going to make it a career. So during the way, I never felt that the fact that I'm a woman ever affected my choices. The opposite. Sometimes I liked being unique. And for example, in job interviews, I like to see the face of my interviewer when he realizes that although my name is Guy, I'm not a guy. And I'm a female programmer. And most of the time, they were happy to see a female programmer because I think as time passed, we all realized that there are a lot of differences between men and women, but being smart is not part of them. So I think the fact that we're a minority in the industry has to be related to our culture. And to fix this, I believe we should expose young girls to technology in younger age. Like, I know that it helped me, and that's the main reason why I'm here. And also role modeling and mentoring, going to school, speak with the young girls and expose them to technology, inspire them. I believe it's really important. I see my young sister, she's 15, and she already told me that she wants to study computer science in high school. And I'm sure that I have a big impact of that decision. And I'm sure a friend would look at her and say, if she can, I can. So I'm really optimistic, although now things aren't that great because I'm working every day only with men. I'm the only female in my group, and it was like this in my previous job. I see my friends every time, maybe 1 or 2 female programmers in each group. So, but I think we are in a good way, because in the Technion I saw many female students. In my current workplace, I see many female managers, tech leads. My VP R&D is a woman, so there is still a lot to do, but I believe we're on the right track.
Thank you so much, Guy. Although your name is Guy, you're not a guy. I love that.
Not a guy.
Great title. Thank you very much, all of you. We heard today inspiring stories from leading women in the high-tech industry. If I will sum it up in a nutshell, there is no one way to success. It can come in many shapes and forms, at any age. So believe in yourself and make it your way. Thank you very much. Before we leave the stage, I would like to, it's my pleasure, to invite the next presenter, Knesset member Dr. Mansour Abbas, who will lead the next panel of inclusion of Israeli Arabs in the high-tech industry.